Wendy, is it okay if I pin you and grill you for a couple minutes?
Sure.
Okay. It's Friday afternoon. I don't remember what time, but it's this past Friday afternoon. And I think I was going down in the basement to get a quick little workout in. And I'm walking down the stairs and I see Wendy's calling. And so I was like, I got to answer. It's Wendy. And no hello, no nothing. It was, what is this? And I was like, what are you talking about? And so I thought I would put her on the spot a little bit and let her share. And just for some prior context, Wendy signed up for our 3-day deal sprint challenge 2.5 weeks ago, something like that now. I don't think it's been 3 full weeks yet. Yeah. She went through that. She also, last week, on Wednesday session last week, I shared in more detail, step by step, how I'm promoting off-market deals on social media and by email to get more conversations. All conversion happens in conversation, meaning all client acquisition, there has to be some conversation, right? So the more conversations, the more reps or at-bats we get, the more chances we have to get a hit. Wendy had taken that blueprint and generated some activity. And so we had shared, I think, a little bit of that last week. But maybe, I think what would be cool to share, and you may have other ideas, but the story about your networking event and that kind of putting together in real life the idea that I've been talking about a lot, which is we're just playing go fish. We want to have cards in one hand that are buyers and cards in our other hand that are sellers, and just matching them up.
Yeah. So it's pretty crazy because you just don't really know. As you pull one thread, it just ends up in some weird spot where you have these clients that like came out of the air. Is what it felt like on Friday. I was like, where are all these people? Where are these people? So I had already worked for sell by owners some anyway. So when this started, this last sprint that I was in, I was real comfortable reaching out to for sell by owners. So I have one for sell by owner who is about to list. He has actually a for sale by owner that he flipped. We're going to list that on the market. And then he has another home that he didn't have on the market at all that I've been using as bait, but I'm going to get that listing. So that's 2.
I don't even remember you sharing this. So hold on.
Yeah, there's so much.
Can I take a step back? So you reached out to a for sale by owner. It was an investor who had fixed it up to flip it and had it listed for sale by owner. You're going to get, like, they're going to list with you and have other property or other properties that they may consider selling as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 2 deals, two properties that they're going to list.
By the way, just a quick side note, Mark DeRouge also in North Carolina, different part, but maybe not too far, for sale by owner, possible 2 deals as well. Their primary residence and a rental property that he's currently working on. I don't think he's taken the listing on either yet, but he's underway with both of those as well. Anyway.
Well, what was funny about that one is, so when I first started working for sell by owners a long time ago, I used to go out and preview them. Like I would go preview them, and I was hesitant to do that again because they can suck a lot of your time up. But what had happened is I sent this script out to 2 or 3 of them, and this guy had replied and he's, yeah, sure, come on over. I could tell his property's overpriced, and then I got really busy, so I didn't want to go because it's a little bit of a out of the way for me. So I unraveled myself from that, but we stayed in conversation, and I'm still going to get the 2 listings because.
So wait a minute, hold on. There's a number of things in that I want to double tap on. Number one, if you're new, if you're inexperienced, if you're not busy, you should get in person with people as much as you can. Okay. Number one, that is not the case with Wendy. She's busy. She is experienced, etc. And you then have to get good at allocating your time, and that is the most finite resource you have. She determined, rightfully, this person's overpriced. Maybe there's a disconnect on how realistic they are on price, et cetera, and yet continued the conversation. What did that look like? In other words, what did you do to be more efficient with your time and yet still keep that door open to opportunity with that seller?
So I stopped talking to him about the property he was selling, and I started talking to him about the other investments that he wants to do. And he cannot do any more deals because I was like, hey, oh, by the way, in the process of doing the other part of the work, I surfaced 20 off-market properties that another agent has that are not on the MLS. So and they're all rented and they're all renovated. So they're like turnkey rentals. So I've been using those like crazy. I talked to him and I was like, I've got all this stuff over here. You need to hurry up and sell that house so that we can do deals together. And I was the only agent that talked like that. So
that is great. Love it.
So that's what, yeah. So he was like, oh, And I was like, look, I've got like this and this. So I had an okay pipeline of sellers that I'd been talking to coming into the spring. So I did have a few things that I could use as bait. So I used all that. So what ended up happening is last Thursday, I walked into my networking group that I belong to. It's like a BNI, but it's not BNI. And
Yeah.
I stood up as part of my intros, which I don't normally say this. And I was like, hey, I've got 30 off market properties right now that I'm working. I have all kinds of options for people if they want to start investing, if they have properties they want to sell, maybe off market. And that's what I said to my group of about 40 people. My HVAC guy walked up to me, who actually hasn't even joined the group yet, and said, hey, I've got $1 million off market waterfront rental. Do you have a buyer for that? And I said, the heck I do. Sure, I do. So I took that. I actually did have a guy that I had surfaced that's a cash buyer. So I reached out to him. And while I was doing that, I took it and I posted it using the social media strategy. That surfaced a lady literally stalking me on Friday, trying to find me. I had posted it on Nextdoor and I had posted it on Facebook. But see, normally in my old world, I have a Nextdoor business page and I have a Facebook business page. I don't usually post under my personal stuff, but I happened to do it the other day. I have my Facebook kind of locked down. So she had to go find my phone number and call me. Anyway, well qualified, all cash buyer, $1.4 million.
Hold on. So
I got
just
that.
for those listening, a consumer, a prospect, a lead chasing her down. Talk about the difference in positioning versus us chasing after them. Business people chasing after you with just some small tweaks. Now, I want to hit on a couple of things just for those that maybe like Wendy, before the sprint, Wendy was already doing the business, right? Like she's already a successful agent. So it's not like she literally created all of this from scratch in 2.5 weeks, but it went from like busy to like really busy is what I'm saying. Also, just because I'm easily distracted and swirl syndrome. I love that we see Sean in the back with me and Wendy as well. So Sean is Wendy's husband, who is also, she's brought him into the fire and they have big goals for the year. I don't know if you had anything else to share, but we've got a decent audience in here. If anyone has questions, you can put them in the chat or even open your line as well. I'll use that as an opportunity to point out the strategy that we were talking about, which is just part of what she shared here, but it has created, it was integral in this person chasing her down, hunting her down and finding her. You can find that at LeadDeck.ai / at the time of this live stream. It's the most recent record by step. Exactly how I am posting on social media, on particularly Facebook, Nextdoor, and my Google business profile to bring inbound opportunity. There's a number. There's a number of different posting types or media types, etc. But the big picture, like the framework or the principles, is pretty repeatable and systematic in nature, let's say. Go ahead, Wendy.
We did talk about Nextdoor, and you had asked me to maybe mention a little bit about that.
Yeah.
So on because I post on Nextdoor a ton. We run a downsizer event every month, and we market it. We use Nextdoor for that too. And I've always run my own paid ad, although the organic strategy for the off market is really delivering and it's free. But with Nextdoor, you can post on your personal Nextdoor page. In my particular market here, if you're a realtor and you try to post more than one thing, maybe once a week, they're going to be all over you and they're going to take your post down. So you can set up a business
So the
page.
Nextdoor admins, you're saying? Like I think Stuart, Stuart had mentioned at some point in here that he's, I don't know, like what did he call it? He's like a community.
Like a moderator?
Yeah, that was a community moderator. Okay, gotcha. All right.
So if you set up, and you get more analytics this way too. So I have a Nextdoor business page. If you have a Nextdoor business page, it's like having a Google business profile. You're going to have, there's a little bit of a setup process. It's a little bit of a pain in the you know what. But once you have that, you can post as your business page. I've posted things 3 or 4 times a day on there. I know no one slapped my hand one time. And you can see your analytics of your posts to see which posts are performing better. That's been something that I've done.
You mentioned this to me last week. I had forgotten that I had a business page on Nextdoor. I've just been using my personal because I haven't had those issues, but I can definitely see it because there are actual community moderators in some areas that could be more problematic. To get a business page, it doesn't cost anything. There are some hoops that you have to go through, and it may take you a few days. But if that's a problem for you, or if you just want that to be specifically business oriented, so I will be pivoting to using that more, except like I at least in my brain, the way I think I'm going to do it is if I'm posting business purposes that aren't like I recently sold a house in my neighborhood. I would post that on my personal moving forward, or things relate like similar to that where it is more relevant to my specific community, but otherwise,
Yeah, because I
why not
post a
have
lot because yeah. And the other thing too is because I've always run all my own ad campaigns across platforms, and I have run ads on Nextdoor in the past. I don't run ads on Nextdoor anymore, and the reason I don't is because I don't. It doesn't give you much flexibility on there. I'm not
right,
saying it wouldn't work for somebody, but the unfortunate thing that they make you do is they make you lock in a 30-day period.
right.
So it makes it hard to test your creatives. But I've had good experience doing that. And what had happened is I had posted so I post under my personal maybe like once a week. So I pick one that I really want to matter. And that was my off market $1 million that I
Yeah.
had posted. But yeah, it's been good. I've been really busy and now I'm trying to find properties for my $1.4 million buyer because she's not going to buy my bait house, but I have stolen her as her buyer's agent. She was out with a Redfin agent and she's like, I'm going with you because I only signed a touring agreement for a day and I've been wanting off market properties and you're the only agent that's brought me anything. So
I don't want to forget that because before I let you go, I want to show how I would think about that specifically in LeadDeck a little bit. And it reminds me of an enhancement that I don't think I asked Sean for yet, but it was in my brain. I just haven't communicated, which will be an easy enhancement for us to do. But I have some workarounds even in the interim before that happens. Susan said, in your experience, what platform delivers better results? Facebook group, Nextdoor, or GMB? I asked because Facebook for no reason banned me from Marketplace and it's impossible to resolve. So I know Wendy has some thoughts. Real quick, I was previously banned from Marketplace for years. And I would say in my case, it was for good reason because I was using it not how it was intended to be used. So I was posting listings that weren't listings because all I was trying to do was generate conversations because conversations lead to contracts and closing. Regardless, I was banned for years. I kept requesting reinstatement, and finally they did reinstate me. And I have, generally speaking, used it more within their terms of use. However, Susan, I get way more results posting on my Facebook page and sharing into groups than I get from actually posting listings in Marketplace. So that's not a big deal. In my experience, Facebook and sharing into groups gets the outsized number of results or responses. And yet, what I do get from Nextdoor and Google My Business is they're like really good. They're like referrals. When you get someone from Nextdoor or Google My Business, you've got a 1 in 5 to 1 in 3 chance of them becoming a client. It's not like a cold lead at all. And generally speaking, the process that's outlined there, the inbound, when someone's DMing you, calling, or texting you, that the level of intent is already higher. For example, the lady that was chasing after Wendy, like she clearly has intent. It's not like just somebody who's curious about the listing price and the pictures of some listing. Wendy, anything else for the good of the group before I let you go? And I got a couple other things that I wanted to share that I think will be helpful and stuff that I have to knock out one way or the other. So I get to kill 2 birds.
It's just interesting to see like when you pull a string where it ends up leading to, because I never could have in a million years been like, oh, I'm going to know my HVAC guy who's got an off market property and that's going to generate some random lady who lives in Pennsylvania out of nowhere. I just
Pulling
keep
the
doing
string is a great analogy, I think. I haven't said this in a while, but some of our early Founders Club members, this was a theme that came up in that they were thinking or wanted it to be a linear process. It's A to B to C. And it really just isn't. You get things going. And then the other analogy or visual I've used is you've seen in like the detective movies where the FBI's got this cork board and there's all these pins and they're connecting strings. That's really what starts to happen. The more cards you have in your hand or in both hands, the more strings that are possible to connect.